And we welcome you to exhibition action. Baylor women's basketball beginning the 2025-26 season unofficially, but for the first time in front of fans against an opponent wearing a different colored jersey. Today, the Bears begin this season, the exhibition season, against the Lady Buffs of West Texas A&M. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us. It is great to be back with you alongside Lori Fogelman. I'm Derek Smith. We're here at Foster Pavilion where the starting lineups are being introduced. And Lori, it is always good to be with you. It's great to be with Baylor women's basketball fans and great to see this team on the floor for the first time.
It'll be exciting this year. It's something very different. Baylor has, I think, 6 returning players, and they have 6 brand new players to this team. Baylor returns a lot of scoring out of Dariana Littlepage Buggs and Bella Fauntleroy, but they also lost 47 points per game, courtesy of Sarah Andrews, Erinette Vonleh, and Jada Walker. So it's going to be up to those newcomers to fill in that gap as we begin the 2025-26 season.
It is a Baylor team that finished 28-8 last season. Came ever so close to Big 12 titles in the regular season and tournament, but fell just short. They're taking on a West Texas A&M team out of the Lone Star Conference in Division II that reached the postseason last year and that actually beat Arizona on Wednesday night. So, Lori, if you needed anything to give you added attention, they got Baylor's attention, but for Baylor it still remains playing Baylor basketball in the best type of play you can.
That's true, and even Arizona was down by 18 points late in that third quarter. Had a couple of chances to tie it in the final 5 seconds, but West Texas A&M had that game in control, especially for 3 quarters of that game, and ended up winning by 3, 60-57. So you got to take these exhibition games seriously, get a chance to work on yourselves, and you know, I'm sure there's a few butterflies out there right now with this team, even for those like Jana and Bella and Dariana, who've been in this program for as long as they have. But it's a great opportunity now for Baylor, and you know they're excited to begin this exhibition.
Here we go. They are taking the floor for the first time here against West Texas A&M. Oklahoma transfer Kirsten Johnson wins the tip for Baylor, and this game is underway. Jana Van Geitenbeek running the point out there with transfer Talia Scott, Bella Fauntleroy, Dariana Littlepage Buggs, and Kirsten Johnson, who picks up a loose ball in the paint and lays it in as she's fouled. Count it, and put her on the line.
You know, that's a great sign to see Kirsten react to the ball. Bella Fauntleroy was trying to go inside against 2 players inside the paint. The ball got knocked away, but Kirsten had her eyes on the ball and finished through contact.
Kirsten Johnson going to the free throw line where her free throw is too strong. Bears are up 2-0 here, 15 seconds into the game. West Texas A&M starting Holly Stadler, Kyla Kane, Abby Holder, and Kennedy Winfrey at the guards. The forward is Henley West. There's a miss for the Lady Buffs, and now Talia Scott dribbles into a crowd and loses the basketball out of bounds. It'll stay with the Bears. Talia Scott, a redshirt sophomore who has averaged over 20 points per game in her career at Arkansas and Auburn, getting her first chance to play in front of the Baylor fans in a Baylor uniform. Inbounds to Scott, catch and shoot 3, a little bit short. Rebound hits the floor. Kirsten Johnson picks it up, puts it back up off the board. Now here's Buggs out fighting everyone for the rebound and earning a trip to the free throw line.
I like to see that early with Baylor in there with 2 of its bigs, with Johnson and Buggs in there just really battling for that offensive board. Just couldn't find the range, but Buggs getting that second offensive rebound, able to go to the free throw line.
Here is Buggs, the only player in the Big 12 last season to average a double-double, starting her senior year here, which is hard to believe. Her first free throw is too strong. She's got 1 more coming. Dariana Littlepage Buggs last season for the Bears averaged nearly 14 points and 10 rebounds per game. Second free throw rattles out. Bella Fauntleroy got a hand on the rebound, but it's taken out of there by Abby Holder running the point for West Texas A&M. She's going to toss it back behind the arc where a long 3 by Kennedy Winfrey. The UNLV product is no good, but the rebound out of bounds to stay with the Lady Buffs. Again, they have impressed so far here in exhibition play as the Bears knock the inbounds out of bounds. It'll stay with West Texas A&M. They played SMU tough in Dallas, and this their third exhibition matchup of the week. They're coming off that win against Arizona. Bears are up 2-0 a minute into the first quarter. Good to see Jana Van Geitenbeek out there applying defense. Now as the cross-court pass by West Texas A&M is directed towards Zoe McBoom, it's knocked out of bounds by Dariana Little-Page. Bugs breaking up the play.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but that double team comes at me, and I'm losing the ball immediately. West Texas A&M did a good job in that initial pass off of that defense, but Bugs got it.
Here's a shot clock running down. The free throw line jumper is no good by the 6'5" Henley West. Rebound by Baylor, and here comes Jana Van Geitenbeek with it. Playing in her first game since November 7th when she tore ACL against Incarnate Word. Kirsten Johnson fires a quick three from the right perimeter. No good. It remains 2-0 Bears as here comes West Texas A&M. Henley West has her shot blocked by Kirsten Johnson. She does that well, and here comes Baylor back the other way. Jana Van Geitenbeek into traffic. Extra pass up top to Talia Scott. She's going to swing it back around the horn, perimeter right to Van Geitenbeek. Jana swings it to Kirsten Johnson, right side, puts it on the floor, bounces down low to Bugs, who slithers in through the crowd and lays it in from the right
I love the way you said slithers, because that is really true. She works the baseline so well to find space to go in and get an easy bucket. Baylor up 4-0.
2 minutes gone in this one. Now here for West Texas A&M is Kennedy Winfrey. Her cross-court pass ends up in the hands of McBoom, who misses a three from the right side. It misses everything, in fact, as you can hear the crowd behind us saying. Now Baylor back the other way. Bella Fauntleroy tries to drive into a crowd, loses the basketball. And a whistle and a foul called against West Texas A&M. It's going to go against Kennedy Winfrey, the UNLV product. She actually played against Baylor last year for the Rebels.
That was a tough game, I remember. I mean, UNLV played Baylor really tough here in the Farrell Center, or the Foster Pavilion. It's preseason.
You're right. Van Geitenbeek inbounds it up top high left to Kirsten Johnson. The 6'4" post player cuts back to the basket. Talia Scott calls and asks for a pick. She sets it. Now Scott shoots behind the pick. A three is short. Bugs is short on the offensive rebound and putback. And here comes Holder the other way. Holder gets it back from Winfrey, drives into the paint, slithers to the basket, has her shot blocked out of bounds by Dariana Little-Page. Bugs.
That is Baylor's second block already. Johnston has one of those, and then Bugs got her first of the game.
Substitutions for the Lady Buffs. Taylor Hagan, a 5'11" center, checks in along with Tatum Bell. Hagan, one of their top players from last season's team that reached the postseason, 9 points, 7.5 rebounds per game off the bench for head coach Josh Prock. Inbound comes to Tatum Bell, high on the left side, being guarded by Bella Fauntleroy. She bounces it back to Holder. Jana got a hand on the pass, but Holder was able to corral it. Holder way up top, high on the right side now, picked up by Bella Fauntleroy on the switch. Cross-court pass to Kyla Kane, who fires a long three, front rim no, and Bugs picks the rebound up off the floor. Here come the Bears up 4-0, 3 minutes into the contest. Bugs flips it back to Fauntleroy, who goes cross-court to Talia Scott. Talia missed a three a moment ago. She dishes it to Johnson, who lobs it down low in a crowd to Bugs, who finishes in close. She's got 4 of Baylor's 6 points, and it's a 6-0 Baylor lead. 3 minutes and 15 seconds in.
And both of those buckets by Bugs, they've come on the courtesy of Kirsten Johnson with the assist. That's a great high-low, a great sign for Baylor.
And now a whistle goes against West Texas A&M. They turn it over, and it's coming back Baylor's way. Kyla Kane checks out for West Texas A&M. Checking in for the first time is Chloe Callahan. Bears are playing offensively with Van Geitenbeek, Scott, Johnson, Bugs, and Fauntleroy. Pass down low to Johnson. She can't finish in close, but she got her own rebound and is fouled on the way back up. That's going to go against Taylor Hagan, her first. And that is 4 already on the Lady Buffs.
Well, I really like to see Johnson, the way that she follows the basketball. I mean, more offensive boards, you will take that. And an opportunity for her to start for the first time in her collegiate career.
Johnson, a 63% free throw in her career at Oklahoma. buries the first. She's got one more coming. A 6'4" senior, Duncanville, Texas native, came to Baylor from Oklahoma. She's going to provide some energy, some defense, and more in the post. Her second free throw is also good. It's 8-0 in favor of Baylor. They have kept West Texas A&M off the board for the first 3.5+ minutes of this ball game. At the top of the arc, here's Holly Stadler, who checks in, drives to the free throw line, bounces down low to Tatum Bell. She is cut off defensively by Fauntleroy. They go inside, trying to force up a tough shot that is no good. That is Hagan missing in close, but they get the rebound. Give it back to Hagan, who bounces it outside to Chloe Callahan. Callahan tries a step-back three, and it's good. First scoring for West Texas A&M. The Bears are up 8-3, just over 4 minutes gone in the ball game. Now here's Jenna Van Geitenbeek driving inside, loses the basketball in a crowd, and is Bell coming out of there with the steal. Top of the arc, here is Holder. Hands it off to Callahan. Cross court, they're going to swing it around. Yuting Dong will check in for the first time for the Bears. And now here's Talia Scott intercepting the pass down low. Races into the front court on Bell, absorbs some contact. And she is called for an offensive foul. She leaned the shoulder a bit, but I still thought the contact was initiated a little bit more by the defense.
I mean, she did. There was contact there, absolutely, but the way that she was still able to get the ball off the glass, I thought she had an and-one opportunity, but not to be, but I hope that helps Talia see the ball go through the net, and we've got more good things to see from her throughout the course of this game.
Just about halfway through the first quarter, West Texas A&M with the ball. Baylor with an 8-3 lead. Substitutions for the Bears, we'll tell you in just a moment. Here's Callahan, who hit a step-back three a moment ago, short on another attempt. And the rebound is grabbed by Kaylin Elms, who just checked in. She and Yuting Dong on the floor for the first time today. Talia Scott tries to force a bounce pass through the lane. It's knocked out of bounds. It's going to stay with the Bears.
The one thing that we're seeing a lot of, Bella Fauntleroy within 3 feet of the basket this year, and that is something different as they try to help continue to grow her game and help 22 play in different ways.
Inbounds to Yuting Dong, the China native who came to Baylor from Auburn. She's at the free throw line. West Texas A&M got a hand on the ball, knocked it away. It's saved by Dariana Littlepage-Bugg. Sees a pass to the basket and draws the foul on Bell.
Did you see Dong just threw the ball behind her back? To Buggs. Somehow she had eyes in the back of her head and saw Dariana there, and Dariana got the ball and just attacked the basket.
That'll bring us to our first quarter media timeout. Bears lead West Texas A&M 8-3. This is a webcast, a non-traditional broadcast, so we're going to pause for just a moment. You won't hear any audio, but stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment here on the Baylor Athletics YouTube channel and BaylorBears.com.
No. Okay. Glad to see the way Johnson played.
She forgot it already. It was like, here, take mine. Like, you already know. Like, yeah, I carry one. Or flight bar, yeah. I was like, I carry it because I know you don't have it. Also, my Coke is not cool. Can I get some rocks?
here at Foster Pavilion alongside Lori Fogelman, Derek Smith here with you. And Lori, I got to say, it's always great to be back here with you. Great to be back with Baylor fans, and fun to see this team in action. We've got to know them a little bit, and we'll get to know them more as time goes on. But I got to say, certainly a fun bunch, a lot of personality. I think a versatile team that could really, as the year goes on, stress teams in a number of different ways. You've got a great new scorer in Talia Scott, joining the veterans like Dariana Littlepage Buggs, Bella Fauntleroy, Jana Van Geitenbeek back from injury. Coach Nikki has said she could lead the team and lead the nation in assists if things go well. You know, you look, just a lot of talented players and pieces that we'll get to know more what they're like as the year goes on.
Yeah, you get Buggs back at the free throw line. Again, worked her way there after Dong saved the ball when she was in jail with it. And so more free throws to come for Buggs.
Buggs misses the first free throw out of the timeout. 0 for 3 from the free throw line in the early going for Buggs, who normally is a very reliable free throw shooter, 73% last season. One more is coming, and that one also spins off. Rebound hits the floor where it's picked up by Tatum Bell. She goes cross court to Kyla Kane, who was the Lone Star Conference Player of the Year last season for West Texas A&M. Kane forced to the center of the floor. Bella Fauntleroy applying some good defense to her. She bounces up to the top of the arc. It is stolen by Talia Scott, who drives to the basket and lays it in. Tatum Bell applied some token pressure, but Talia Scott, who averages 20 points per game at Auburn and Arkansas, finishes there to make it 10-3 Baylor.
Yeah, she protected the ball really well. I think she could tell somebody was right behind her, and she went in with a great angle.
There's a shot in close by Bell, missed, knocked out of bounds. It is going to stay with West Texas A&M. West Texas A&M, a team that last year was 19-13 and reached the postseason in Division II. They're going to play it in beneath the basket, bounce it along the baseline to Bell, who retreats behind the three-point arc. Yuting Dong, in her first year with the Bears, guarding her. There's a handoff to Holly Stadler, who flips it back outside to Bell. Tall guard Bell. She drives in on Dong and leaves the runners short. Dong grabs the rebound. Yuting Dong played 13 games last year for Auburn, averaging double-digit points. In her first year with the Bears, she provides height as well, a 6'2" guard for Coach Nikki. Here's a pass at the top of the key to Dariana Littlepage Buggs. Drives inside on Kane and flips it in.
You absolutely have to if you're Dariana Littlepage Buggs. That is a definite mismatch when you're going in on the 5'10" Kane.
12-3 Bears. They've held West Texas A&M without a point for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Just one field goal so far for the Lady Buffs. There's a flip down low to Henley West, who checked back in. The ball's knocked out of bounds. It is going to stay with the Lady Buffs as Jana Van Geitenbeek prepares to check back in, along with Markayla Johnson. Markayla Johnson, the lone true freshman on the Baylor roster, getting her first action as a Bear, a Tulsa, Oklahoma native. Talia Scott will get a breather. The Bears playing defensively with Dong, Buggs, Van Geitenbeek, Johnson, and one other player that will tell you who that is in just a moment, Kaylin Nelms. Here is Kane angling to the free throw line, leaning in and hitting the jumper. Just the second bucket by the Lady Buffs. It's 12-5 Baylor. Jana Van Geitenbeek back in. She swings across court to Johnson, around a screen to the free throw line, flips it outside to Nelms. She sees Buggs open down low, but Buggs misses the point blank layup. You're not going to see that too often. Maybe too wide open there. Now in transition, a three is way off the mark by Chloe Callahan. Didn't even draw iron, and it's out of bounds. Bears touched it last. No, I beg your pardon. The Buffs touched it last.
Yeah, I thought for a minute there they were going to call West Texas A&M ball, but it looked like the ball just went off of 24's foot and out of bounds.
It's 12-5 Bears. 2:44 to play here in this first quarter. Markayla Johnson swings it in the left corner to Dong. 1-3, but Kane was right there. She flips it mid-post left side to Buggs. Kick out up top to Johnson. Thought about a three. Now does fire the three. Too strong. Rebound pinballed around, and we've got a whistle. And this is going against Baylor, and to add insult to injury, looks like Dariana Littlepage Buggs took an elbow to the face in the scrum, but she's all right. No, it is going to stay. It's going to stay with the Bears.
Well, I don't know what the call could have been if it was against Baylor.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's in preseason form right now.
No, it is. It is.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
Well,
don't know what just happened, but I guess they called a foul on Buggs.
Foul in there. Let's see. It is on Dariana Littlepage Buggs. That is her first, the team's second. Kane, top of the key, swings the elbows, looks to bounce it to a cutting McBoom, whose jumper is no good. Stadler, rather, I beg your pardon. Here's Nelms with the rebound. Gives it off to Jana Van Geitenbeek. Just over 2 minutes to play first quarter. Van Geitenbeek in the paint. Kick out to Nelms. She steps into a three, just a little bit short. Rebound grabbed by Henley West. She gives it off to Stadler. Outlets it ahead to Callahan, and Callahan pushes off of Jana Van Geitenbeek, applying the tight defense. That's going back Baylor's way as Callahan is hit with her first foul. That is the 5th on the Lady Buffs. Zoe McBroom checking back in for the Lady Buffs and their head coach Josh Prom. Here come the Bears the other way. Minute 50 to play. First quarter. Dong measures a three and it spins out. Rebound hits the floor just beyond the outstretched arms of Bugs. It is picked up by McBroom. McBroom is cut off along the sideline. She's in trouble, and a 5-second violation forced by the freshman, Markayla Johnson, who gets a glad hand from Dariana.
Well, that'll get you fired up. You know, what a play. You know, Markayla coming in from Tulsa, Oklahoma, a great high school career, and the only freshman on this team, you know, but she's got a lot of talent. Coach Nikki talks a lot about her.
Under 90 seconds to play in the first quarter. Here is Johnson on cue, hitting a step-back jumper from the left baseline. About a 15-footer. Pretty shot there by Johnson. Great score in high school, and that runs the score to 14-5 in favor of the Bears.
And I'm glad she pulled up that shot after making a great defensive play. You're in a good mindset to go score.
Just over a minute to play here in this first quarter of action. Here's West way up on the right side at the free throw line. Forces up a shot, airballs it. Offensive rebound, put back attempt, no good by Bell. And then a foul called against West Texas A&M. That's going against Zoe McBroom. Her first. They are over the limit, and so Baylor will go back the other way and shoot free throws. Talia Scott checks back in, and for the first time for the Bears is Kira Pemberton, who averaged 16 points and 7 rebounds for North Dakota last year. She has 2 years of eligibility, and she is here in a Baylor uniform. Nelms going to the free throw line. Lori, trivia question. What was Kayla Nelms' free throw percentage last year?
Did she get to the free throw line?
She did not. So
I
this
didn't think
is the first
so.
time we've seen this. So Nelms, the sophomore, at the free throw line. Her first attempt is up, and it's perfect. I'm excited to see what she can bring, Lori. Nelms is a player who has some real offensive talent. You know, didn't get to see it a lot last year. She was the lone true freshman on the roster, and at times looked like it. She had to learn what things are like at this level, but I think she hung tough. She hung tough, and here she is, and I'm excited to see if she can build on that here in year number 2 as she hits both free throws.
Yeah, you come in, you play 4 minutes, you get 3 rebounds, you knock down both of your free throws when you get to the line, and Baylor hasn't been able to knock many of those down today, but she's got a couple of them. So good minutes there.
There's a turnover with 45 seconds to play in the first quarter. Kira Pemberton immediately upon checking in gets the steal, and now Baylor a little too fast there on the outlet attempt. Kirsten Johnson tried to lay it in, but she was too far underneath the basket when she caught it. Here's a lob at the free throw line to Henley West at the Big 12 logo, and that's a 3-second violation. Kirsten Johnson stood her ground in the post, and there was nothing that West could do.
Well, the coaches have been talking a lot about Kirsten Johnson, about how all of a sudden the light came on and just started to take those steps and stacking together great practices. So, you know, we're starting to see some comfort here in the early going, and Kirsten Johnson made her mark just then on the defensive end, causing another turnover.
Baylor can play for the last shot. We're down to 8 seconds in the first quarter as Van Geitenbeek stepping into a three. It's online, but a bit long. West grabs the rebound with 3 seconds left. She's going to give it off for a 3-quarter court shot that's wide of the mark. As the first quarter draws to a close, that was Abby Holder there, missing the 3-quarter court shot. So at the end of one complete, our score, Baylor 16, West Texas A&M 5. This is Baylor basketball on Baylor Athletics YouTube and BaylorBears.com. Something has me a little nervous. We are almost at halftime in the football game. Only one team throwing that out there now.
Okay.
I'm nervous in where the 2 games are.
Okay, got it. Okay, so at the end of the game, take this. I'm gonna watch you go right now. Take this. Who's the danger? Because I take it.
I see Miss Bartley over there. Maybe it's time for her to make her debut.
Hey, Michael, like I have like one more of these.
Okay, we need to see some of those.
We just need to see those 3 strong through. I thought Deanna was right on.
I did too. Back here at Foster Pavilion, only exhibition game for the Bears, and they lead West Texas A&M 16-5 at the end of the first quarter. Baylor was 6 of 11 from inside the arc in the first quarter, 0 of 7 from downtown. And Laura, that's an obvious area to try to improve on here as we enter the second quarter.
Yeah, that from beyond the arc. In fact, I thought Jana Van Geitenbeek's shot towards the end of the buzzer or the end of the first quarter was right on line and going in, but just bounced off of the rim. The other thing, too, is it's just Baylor getting to the free throw line. They got there 9 times, made just 4 of those. So some more, making sure that you capitalize on those mistakes or fouls by West Texas A&M, and see if you could just continue to string together some good quarters here as Baylor plays its exhibition opener. As you said, the only one.
Yeah.
You know, there used to be a
There used to be a few.
Like at least 2.
I always feel like there used to be 2. Worth noting, this West Texas A&M team, Lori, beat Arizona on Wednesday night and led by as many as 18 points in the third quarter. Now, that's an Arizona team that has an almost completely new roster. Still, nonetheless, I think it shows that Baylor came out focused, holding them just 5 points here in the first quarter. Lady Buffs have the ball to start quarter number 2. It is Kennedy Winfrey angling to the right side of the lane. Bounces down low to Callahan, who's cut off. Hagan now kicks it outside to Winfrey. Shot clock down to 8 because the ball didn't graze iron. Does Kennedy Winfrey realize that? 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Gives it off to Holder, who drives all the way to the basket, flips it up and in, and draws a foul with the shot clock about to hit 0. That foul is on Jana Van Geitenbeek. It is her first, the team's first, in the second quarter. Well, they kind of got bailed out there. They had the ball near midcourt with 4 seconds to go, and Holder just drove inside quickly and drew the foul. Free throw is coming. That's no good, so she can't complete the 3-point play. That's the first free throw attempt for West Texas A&M. Bears have the ball up 16-7, their first possession of the second quarter. Van Geitenbeek gives it off to Pemberton. Kira Pemberton drives inside, but used the elbow to clear some space and is called for the offensive foul. That's her first, the team's second. Pemberton, a player who averaged double figures both of her 2 seasons at the University of North Dakota. Last year, 16 points and nearly 8 rebounds per game. Could be a nice piece off the bench for Coach Nikki and the Bears. There's a handoff to McBroom, swings it across to Holder. Holder puts it on the floor, swings it in the corner there to Presley Kane, but an offensive foul is going to go against the Lady Buffs. That was Abby Holder, too aggressive, trying to break into the paint.
Yeah, Talia Scott did a great job just holding her ground and doing a little Bella Fauntleroy impression there and taking that charge.
Minute gone, second quarter. Here is Jana Van Geitenbeek. Van Geitenbeek bounces it in the post to Kirsten Johnson. Has the ball knocked away as she tries to go up with it. It is stolen by McBroom. Nearly an over and back violation as they swing it from guard to guard as Presley Kane gives it down low to Hagan. Hagan with a kick out. McBroom steps into a 3, no good. Here's Kirsten Johnson to swallow up her 5th rebound of the first half. Jana Van Geitenbeek gives it off to Johnson. Johnson kicks it outside. It's Talia Scott, the Auburn transfer. Really the gem of Baylor's transfer class this season. Scott left elbow, tries to cross over and away from the ball. A whistle and a foul goes against the visitors. That is Zoe McBroom called for the foul, her second, team's second. And Chloe Callahan will check in. for West Texas A&M. They wear maroon colors just like the big school in their system. Slightly different shade maroon, a little more, I'd say a little more purple.
Absolutely. With West Texas across the front.
Yeah, they're really proud of the West Texas roots representing. I think outside of Texas Tech, I think they try to lay a claim on West Texas and do so well. They have some nice programs out there. As Baylor plays it in, an offensive foul is called away from the ball. Kirsten Johnson, too aggressive, setting a screen according to the officials, and she's hit with the offensive foul, her first and the third on the Bears here in the first minute and 40 seconds of the second quarter. Not a lot of offense in this game. Baylor just 6 of 18 from the floor. West Texas A&M 3 for 19. Here's Presley Kane driving, and a foul goes against Talia Scott. That's Scott's second and the team's fourth. Next foul will have West Texas A&M shooting the penalty for the duration of the first half. Inbound it comes to Presley Kane. And another foul is called against Talia Scott. Just kind of bumped in to Kennedy Winfrey there, and that is her third foul, the fifth on the Bears. So Bella Fauntleroy is going to check in off the bench. Talia Scott with 3 early fouls, 2 of them coming in successive plays against West Texas A&M. And the Lady Buffs will be shooting the penalty the rest of the way.
Baylor has not had a shot at all this quarter. And they've had 5 fouls called them and 3 turnovers.
First free throw is good by Winfrey. One more coming. Winfrey averaged 3 points and 2 rebounds a game last year at UNLV. Actually played against Baylor here at Foster Pavilion, where the Bears defeated the Rebels in December. Hits both free throws, and this is as close as West Texas and A&M has been since the early going. It's 16-9. Markayla Johnson has the basketball. Perimeter left, swings it around the horn to Van Geitenbeek. Gives it to Johnson, back to Jana. Jana, top of the key. They're going to go around the horn once again. It is Markayla Johnson. Johnson drives left side of the lane. 10 on the shot clock. Kick out to Johnson. Right side to Jana Van Geitenbeek. 5 to shoot. Jana out to Pemberton. Free throw line. Leans inside. Flips it up off the glass too hard. And the rebound fought for in a crowd in the paint. And West Texas A&M comes out of there with it. Still no second quarter points for the Bears. West Texas A&M could pull to within 5 if they hit a bucket here. They're down 16-9 on the Bears. Here's Kennedy Winfrey swinging it across, nearly throws it away. Presley Kane has to chase it down and barely saves it. 9 on the shot clock. Kane around a Hagen screen. Kick outside to Holder. Steps into a fall-away 3, too strong. Bella Fauntleroy strong arms the rebound and flings it ahead to Van Geitenbeek. Bears trying to get their offense going here in the second quarter. Bounce to Johnson at the free throw line. Up top to Fauntleroy. Fauntleroy directs traffic and gives it to Pemberton. Around the horn, here's a 3 by Jana Van Geitenbeek, and it's good. Well, that's got to feel good for her. Her first scoring this exhibition season for the Bears, a player who had to sit and watch so much of last season. Bears back up by 10. Here is Holder in the paint, cut off. Flings it to Hagen. Hagen wants to drive on Johnson, spins in the paint, and leaves the turnaround jumper short from inside of 10 feet. Markayla Johnson grabs the rebound. The Bears playing with Van Geitenbeek, Johnson, Fauntleroy, Markayla Johnson, Kirsten Johnson, and as the shot is no good by Kirsten Johnson, got her own rebound, put back too strong, got her own rebound again, and she is fouled. Going to see a couple of substitutions for the Bears as this foul is going to go against West Texas A&M. Yuting Dong and Dariana Littlepage Buggs check back in for Markayla Johnson and for Kira Pemberton. That foul is going to go against Kennedy Winfrey, by the way, for West Texas A&M, her first, team's third. And it sends Kirsten Johnson to the free throw line. She is 2 of 3 from the stripe tonight. Well, they thought there was a shooting foul. Got some confusion. Kirsten Johnson is the free throw shooter. If it's they said, we all thought it was a shooting foul. They set everyone up at the free throw line, but then at the last moment changed their minds and call everyone back on to say it's on the floor on Winfrey. So Van Geitenbeek will play it in to Fauntleroy. Fauntleroy wants to back her way in. No, instead kicks it out to Jana. Up top to Dong. Lets a 3 fly, and it's good. Nice soft touch by the sophomore Yu Ting Dong. And that makes it 22-9 in favor of the Bears.
And she did not hesitate to take that shot off the assist from Jana.
Now a turnover by West Texas A&M as Holder tries to hit Tatum Bell with a pass, but it is too tall and out of bounds. Kyla Kane checks back in, 13 points, 4 rebounds per game for the senior guard, their star player. Just about halfway through the second quarter, Baylor with the ball and a 22-9 lead. Here is Bella Fauntleroy to Dong at the free throw line. Her jumper flat, and the rebound picked off the floor by Kane. Here's West Texas A&M the other way. A reverse layup is good by Chloe Callahan. A nice backdoor cut there with the basketball. 22-11. Baylor doubling up the Lady Buffs. Jana Van Geitenbeek with a head fake, circles beneath the basket, finds Fauntleroy down low, and she's fouled. That will result in free throws as Kane is hit with the foul, her second and the team's fourth. And Jana Van Geitenbeek there, Lloyd did a nice job of touching the paint. We know how important that is in this offense for Coach Nikki. She drove it into the paint, sucked in the defense, and then found a cutting Fauntleroy.
And now Fauntleroy has the opportunity at the free throw line here. We'll get 2 shots for 22.
Fauntleroy struggled to the line last year, 58.5%. Someone who hit 71% as a sophomore. First free throw too strong. She's got one more coming. Baylor is up 22-11 on West Texas A&M. Bella Fauntleroy heading into her senior season. Still sounds strange to say for Ann Bugs. Both free throws no good. Offensive rebound though by Kaylin Nelms, and the Bears will get another crack at it. Here's Bella Fauntleroy driving right of the lane, flips it up too hard, and this time it is Henley West with the rebound. Kane back the other way for West Texas A&M. She kicks it in the corner to Bell, the tall guard, halfway through the second quarter, flings it into the corner. Here's a 3 attempt off the side of the backboard by Holly Stadler, and the rebound is tapped by Bugs to Van Geitenbeek. Baylor up 22-11, 4:49 to play, first half. Fauntleroy knocks down a 3 off the handoff from Van Geitenbeek.
Well, that was just like Ding's 3 from the top of the key. Didn't even think about pulling the trigger. She got the ball and immediately pulled that 3 from that wing position that Bella just loves.
4.5 minutes to play in the first half. Here is a drive for West Texas A&M. Molly Stadler tries to kick it outside to Callahan. It is knocked out of bounds by Bella Fauntleroy, and that brings us to our second quarter media timeout. Baylor 25, West Texas A&M 11, 4:24 to play here in the first half. We'll pause and come back with more after this here on the Baylor Athletics YouTube channel.
It's interesting they didn't give an assist.
Sorry. Back to action here in the second quarter as the inbounds pass for West Texas A&M is grabbed by Winfrey. The Bears are up 25-11 with 4:17 to play here in the first half. And as West Texas A&M sets up offensively, Kennedy Winfrey is called for an offensive foul. That is her third personal and the team's fifth. Well, it's not been the best offensive first quarter for either team, but Baylor is up by 14 points here with 4 minutes to go in the first half. Here's Yuting Dong kicking it outside to Jana Van Geitenbeek. She's going to flip it mid-post right side, mid-range jumper splash by Dariana Littlepage Buggs. Dariana Littlepage Buggs is Baylor's leading scorer on the afternoon. She has 8 of their 27. Here's a pass down low to Bell, and a jump ball is called as the Bears got a hand on that. Hindley West, I beg your pardon, tried to go up strong with it, and Nelms and Dong both got a hand on it, forcing the tie-up. 27-11. Baylor with the basketball here and a 16-point edge with 3:47 to play in the first half. For those of you who are keeping an eye on Baylor football, they're down right now at halftime in Cincinnati, 24-6. Here's Jana Van Geitenbeek corralling a pass from the post by Nelms. It was a little too tall, but she was able to save it in the possession. Drives inside, kicks it out to Dong. A rhythm three is off the mark. Rebound chased down by Buggs in the right corner. Second chance points opportunity for the Bears here as Jana Van Geitenbeek directs traffic. Van Geitenbeek around a Nelms screen, steps back, leans into a three. It's off the back rim, no. And the rebound is grabbed by Kennedy Kane. Baylor with 8 offensive rebounds here in the first half. Take a look at their second chance points in just a moment as Baylor gets another steal. It's Dariana Littlepage Buggs corralling it away and giving it up top to Van Geitenbeek, who drives inside, and she is pushed off of her shot by Chloe Callahan. Free throws are coming. That's Callahan's second.
Boy, Jana popped up immediately after going down because I think everybody in this building went
Yeah,
but pops up with a smile on her face.
You know how happy she is to be out there. She's talked about all the little things related to the game that you take for granted that she's just enjoying in this, her second chance at a senior year. I mean, it stunks, Lori, just less than 30 minutes into the season last year, she tears her ACL, and Coach Nicky had talked about the great job she did in the past offseason, improving her defensive performance, and just really seemed ready for a great senior year when the injury took place, as the first free throw is no good. She's had to work her way back, wait nearly a calendar year to play again against someone else, but here she is. First free throw is too strong. She's got one more coming, and that is good. 4 points, 3 assists here in the first half for Jana Van Geitenbeek. Baylor up 28-11 with 2:57 to play here in this second quarter. It is Kane angling to the right side. She hands it off to Abby Holder. Holder tries to lob it down low for West, who is able to hold on to a pass that was nearly stolen by Kaylin Nelms. They save the possession. Here's a left elbow jumper that's short by Bell, and Dariana Littlepage Buggs picks up her 7th rebound of the afternoon. Van Geitenbeek weaves into the front court, flips it to Johnson, whose three is a little bit short. Weak side rebound grabbed by Dariana Littlepage Buggs. 9 offensive rebounds now for the Bears. An opportunity for some second chance points right here. Van Geitenbeek, online, but it spins out. Fauntleroy picks up the offensive rebound. Baylor with another fresh 20. We're at 2:05 to play here in the first half. Markayla Johnson, the freshman, on the drive. Cuts off, flips up a turnaround that's perfect. Well, pretty shot there by Markayla Johnson. She's got 4 first half points, and the Baylor lead is 19. Biggest of the afternoon at 30-11. Here's a pass down low to West in close, and she was able to slip past Nelms to lay it in. That snaps a Baylor run at 8 straight points. They're going to try to keep it going quickly, though. Fauntleroy, or restart another one, I should say, but Fauntleroy too strong on the 3 in transition. Here's Kennedy Kane driving and missing a jumper from the left elbow. Rebound fumbled out of bounds by Bell, going back to the Bears. Kirsten Johnson returns for the Bears in place of Kaylin Nelms. Nelms gave the Bears 2 points and 4 rebounds off the bench. Just under 90 seconds to play here in the first half at Foster Pavilion, the lone exhibition game for the Bears. They lead at to 13. Baylor shooting 33%, but holding the Lady Buffs to 19%. Fauntleroy fires a pass down low to Buggs, and that's one she should and does finish. Even as she is fouled, she has got a chance at a three-point play.
What a pass zipped in there from Bella Fauntleroy. That one had a very small window to get through, but great positioning inside from Buggs. That was one of those that you know, she could just Gumby-like put that ball in off the square. And at the beginning of this game, it was Kirsten Johnson who had that possible three-point play, and that time Buggs knocks down that free throw line. She makes sure that she gets the and one, and Baylor extends its lead now to 33-13.
Just over a minute to play in the first half. Buggs had missed her first 4 free throws, but she hits that one there. She is the lone double-figure scorer in the game. She's got 11 and 8 rebounds, nearly a double-double in the first half. She tips the ball away, and that's going to go Baylor's way. She got a hand on the ball as Holder was trying to pass it, and she really just muscled that off of Holder and out of bounds. Under a minute to play here in the first half. A player hits the floor, and an offensive foul is going to be called at the top of the arc on Jana Van Geitenbeek. Looked like they kind of bumped there, and I don't know if that was a sell job there by the West Texas A&M player, but nonetheless, that was McBroom hitting the deck, and Jana Van Geitenbeek is hit with the offensive foul.
Now that you're under a minute to play before halftime, Baylor puts on some pressure.
Markayla Johnson, the freshman, is guarding Holder as she brings it across midcourt. Crosses over to her left-hand dribble and now hits Bell at the top of the arc. Bell looking for a teammate, hands it off to McBroom. Good defense by the Bears. Johnson out there to contest what Holder is trying to do. Forces her all the way near midcourt. Here's a screen at the top of the arc. Holder gets a step, kicks it in the corner to Bell. They find an open shooter. That's McBroom, and she knocks down a long two with the shot clock at 4. Baylor can play for the last shot of the first half, up 33-15 on West Texas A&M. Van Geitenbeek across the midcourt stripe. She's wearing a brace on her left leg, or left knee, the knee that was injured last year, but she is playing well, not playing tentatively. We're down to 9 to play here in the first half. Here's Jana Van Geitenbeek at the top of the arc, angling down the right side of the lane. 4 seconds to shoot, bounces to Buggs, free throw line jumper a bit too strong as the first half draws to a close. Well, first half of action is in the books here in the exhibition game between Baylor and West Texas A&M, and the Bears, despite not shooting the ball especially well, have a 33-15 lead. And, you know, Lori, I'll say the offense, you know, you got so many new players out there. There's those jitters even in an exhibition game. Players are figuring each other out, maybe a little juice as they go to the basket on some of these shots, but they're getting some good looks, and they're contesting just about everything West Texas A&M, a team that beat Arizona Wednesday night, is trying to do.
Yeah, and you know, that's what you need. You've got to have defense, especially in the early going when you've got so many new pieces and you're trying to find a flow on the offense, but the defense can help carry you a lot of times when the ball's not going through the basket. So you'll take that here at halftime. A lot of things to clean up, but for Baylor here, I think everybody who got on the floor just you know, made something happen. Started to feel a little bit better, got into a rhythm, and I think that's what Baylor was looking for.
33-15, Baylor leads at intermission. For those of you watching on the Baylor Athletics YouTube channel, we'll have just some audio in a little bit in the background for a bit. Stay with us. If you need to go grab some food or take care of any business here at halftime, you've got time to do this. For those on the audio stream, we've got an interview with Coach Nikki from this past Wednesday's halftime show with John Morris from Rudy's. So, if you're on BaylorBears.com, we'll have that for you on the YouTube channel. Just stay with us, and we'll be back in a bit here on BaylorBears.com. Back here at Foster Pavilion. Appreciate you being with us here on BaylorBears.com and on the Baylor Athletics YouTube channel. Lori, Baylor is up 33-15 at halftime. Before we take a quick look at stats, got to tell people, for those of you watching the video stream, Courtside Cam, as we call it, brought to you by NextLink, that is back. That is something that we are going to be doing each game this year, home and on the road. So, you know, you can listen on Fox Sports 93.9. You can listen on BaylorBears.com and the Baylor Athletics app. Or you can just go to the Baylor Athletics YouTube channel and see our smiling faces each and every game.
Well, let's hope we're smiling throughout the season, because it's probably the look on our face will tell you how things are going.
Well, this will be your first year with that, won't it?
Yes, it will.
Yeah.
And as I was telling you, I'm just going to have to perfect my poker face.
Poker face. Well, you know, back when we had it, the last time we had it, Sophia Young-Malcolm was doing the games, and fans enjoyed seeing some of her reactions. I remember she'd kind of do a thing with her hand when she was annoyed or when she wanted action to happen more quickly, which is probably why she ended up on the bench for a couple of years. But fans enjoy that. But we'll be glad to have you all on the Baylor Athletics YouTube channel throughout the year. So just know that is an option for you. Well, Bears making their way out of the locker room here, West Texas A&M as well. Let's take a look at stats here briefly as we get ready for the second half of this, the lone exhibition game for the Bears. Baylor out shooting West Texas A&M 34-21%. Baylor 12 of 35 from the floor. The Lady Buffs are 6 of 28. They're 1 of 9 from beyond the arc. Baylor just 3 of 15. If Baylor was knocking down some threes, that shooting percentage would be a little bit higher, but as it is, which I know that's an obvious thing to state, but three-pointers and free throws have not been Baylor's friend today. Aside from that, though, you look at inside the arc, Baylor is shooting about 50%. So, you know, the three-point shots, those will come in time, and the free throws will as well.
Yeah, I think, Baylor was 0 for 7 in that first quarter, but then when they came out, the first 3 threes that they knocked down just came right in a row in the second quarter, and everybody started to feel that rhythm a little bit from the outside. So it was good to see a couple finally go down. Baylor just under 50% from the three-point line in that second quarter. But you see on the video screen right now, Talia Scott warming up, and Talia only ended up playing 9 minutes in that first half because she picked up 3 fouls. And I think she picked up 2 of those in pretty quick succession, so had to sit down on the bench. So we didn't get a chance to really see her really get going. And I am so looking forward to that, because you look at her ability to score. Again, she played, just 3 games last year for Auburn, but she was 50% from the three-point line. She was 16 of 32, so she can, she's not afraid to shoot it. Let's just say that. But also, while shooting at a high volume, she shoots at a great percentage from outside. That one bucket that she got was off of a steal that she went in and scored. So we'll see more from Talia Scott here in the second half.
Dariana Little-Page Bugs leads all scorers with 11 points. She also has more rebounds than anyone else on the floor today with 11. With 8, I beg your pardon. No surprise for a player who was the only in the Big 12 to average a double-double last year. Yeah,
she always seems to do that. You look at halftime and go, how many points did she score and how many rebounds does she have? I mean, already nearing that double-double, but Dariana Little-Page Bugs just continues to impress. What an incredible athlete, and we've been it's been a blast to watch her for the last 3 seasons, and now going into her senior year.
West Texas A&M has the ball to start the second half. It is Winfrey, Holder, West, Kane, and McBroom on the floor. And Kane fires an open 3 left side, leaves it short. And that's how the second half begins. Baylor with the basketball. It is Scott, Bugs, Kirsten Johnson, Van Geitenbeek, and Fauntleroy. Bugs puts it on the floor, sucks in the defense, kicks it outside to Scott. Head fakes a 3, spins in the lane to the basket. Oh, and left the runner just a little bit short. Maybe a little bit of contact, but not enough to draw a whistle. And here comes West Texas A&M back the other way. And as they fire it ahead, Winfrey steps on the sideline and gives it back to the Bears.
I think that had all of us going, what? A whistle? Why? It's way across the basket from us, but must have been incredibly obvious for that call to be made.
Baylor trying to score the first points of the second half, and they do.
Oh,
nice
that
little
give and
flip to
go.
cutting KJ.
Nice. You know what? That's been set up. I mean, KJ is so good rolling to the basket, but that time she got enough space to be able to make sure that she scored, and that was easy.
And now she contests a bell shot along the left block, forces a miss. Rebound hits the floor, and last touch by the Bears as it trickles out of bounds. It'll stay with West Texas A&M. Kirsten Johnson, a 6'4" post player from Oklahoma. She's a Duncanville, Texas native from just up the road, but she's wiry, she's long-armed, she can block shots, she can knife through the defense, and I think she's going to be a different kind of weapon. Inbound pass is stolen by Bella Fauntleroy, and as she drives towards an open basket, she is tripped from behind by a holder and in a little bit of pain as she gets back up slowly.
Goodness.
Beg your pardon, that was Kennedy Winfrey called for the foul. That's Winfrey's fourth and the team's first. So here we are, just over a minute gone in the second quarter, and Winfrey already just one more foul left before she is disqualified.
I tell you, Bella Fauntleroy is as tough as they come, because how many times do we see her per game landing on the floor? Now that one, she just got tripped up and hit the ground hard, just straight on there, but she will get back up, inbound the basketball, and get right back in the game.
Baylor is up 35-15. Here's Talia Scott trying to turn around in the paint, and she floats it in.
Well, she had to go over 6'4" that time, or 6'5" Henley West, but what a way to teardrop that basketball in for Talia Scott.
The Bears deflect the West Texas A&M pass out of bounds. It's going to stay with the Lady Buffs. Talia Scott with 4 points in her Baylor exhibition debut. Here's Tatum Bell handing it off to McBroom. Hand on it, knocked away by the Bears on the pass, but it is grabbed by Kane. She floats and hangs in the lane and knocks down a jumper. Nice little driving shot there by Kennedy Kane, by Kyla Kane, the Lone Star Conference Player of the Year last season. Scott with a free throw line jumper, left it a bit short. And the rebound is grabbed by Jenna Van Geitenbeek, gives it to Buggs, who's short on the three from the right side. And the rebound is grabbed by West Texas A&M. It is Holder quickly stepping into a three at the other end, and as Buggs grabs the rebound off the miss, she is fouled from behind by Kyla Kane. West Texas A&M is in some foul trouble here. Just 2 fouls against them here in the third quarter, but you look, you've got Winfrey with 4. You've got Kyla Kane, really their best all-around player, coming into the year with 3. 2 apiece for McBroom, Callahan, Hagan, and West. Baylor with the ball in a 20-point lead. Just over 2 minutes gone in the third quarter. Scott is open for 3, but it's just a bit short. Rebound spiked off the floor by Kirsten Johnson. She chases it down, absorbs contact, and saves it. Sends it out to Scott for 3, and it's good.
You know what? Before that ball even got out from KJ to Talia Scott, everybody was standing on the Baylor bench with the 3 hand signal up, and Talia Scott made them good on that one.
Now a hanging jumper is good by Kane at the other end. Scott has 5 third quarter points here. Baylor is up 40-19. Just about 3 minutes gone, third quarter. Van Geitenbeek circles beneath the basket and flips it in a crowd to Fauntleroy for the layup. Baylor by 23 at 42-19. Now Fauntleroy gets a hand on the pass and deflects it to the sideline. Kirsten Johnson knocks it off of Zoe McBroom for West Texas A&M to give it back to the Bears.
Kirsten Johnson has made some hustle plays in this game. In fact, on that 3 from Talia Scott, that's because KJ ended up getting that basketball. She did not give up on a stray ball. Got it, flipped it cross court to Scott, who knocked down that 3, and then she makes a heads-up play down on the other side, too, to give Baylor the basketball back.
Bella Fauntleroy with a little bit of a bump to clear some room in the lane. Does clear room, but misses the open shot from the mid-post left side. Now here comes West Texas A&M in transition. They find a cutting Holder who misses the layup, but Hagan is there to clean up. Put back bucket pulls them to within 21 at 42-21. That's Hagan's first scoring of the night. Here's Jenna Van Geitenbeek a little too strong on the runner. And Kane grabs the rebound, and then Bella Fauntleroy trying to tie her up from behind is called for the foul. That is Bella's first, the team's first here in the third quarter. Coach Nicky telling the players just to settle down just a little bit. Baylor has outscored West Texas A&M 9-6 here in this third quarter and doubling them up overall 42-21. Here's Holder. She starts the drive. Bella Fauntleroy pokes the ball out of her hands and out of bounds. You know, Lori, it's funny. I think it's easy to look at the schedule at the start of a year. And see, oh, you've got Duke and you've got Texas and Iowa and all these other schools. And then you see an exhibition against West Texas A&M. As here's a jumper from Holder that's no good. Scott grabs the rebound. We can underestimate how much juice even returning players feel in a game like this to start a year. There's nerves. There's nerves, and I think sometimes they manifest themselves as Fauntleroy spins through the lane and finishes with the right hand. Bella Fauntleroy with 7 points. And it's 44-21 Baylor, 4 minutes gone, third quarter. So we can underestimate that there are nerves in a game like this, and it can take players a bit to settle in as Johnson is called for a foul. Kirsten Johnson will send West Texas A&M to the free throw line. Johnson second, the team second. Well, don't look now, but Baylor football has scored again. It is a 24-12 ball game in Cincinnati about 5 minutes into the second half. You know, for better or for worse, Baylor football plays its best football when they're down by about 2 or 3 scores.
You know, and they...
Oh, a block off the inbounds pass. Kirsten Johnson emphatically swaps away Holly Stadler's shot. And now a nice drop off by Scott. Back to Johnson at the other end for the layup to push the Baylor lead to a game-high 25, prompting a West Texas A&M timeout.
Boy, what a nice bounce pass, too. And that KJ just didn't sit there and watch. Didn't just watch Talia Scott go in with the basketball in the open court. She was ready to get that bounce pass on what a sweet finish. No look. Bugs was there to kind of clear the way as well, and Kirsten Johnson finishes there as Baylor extends its lead to 46-21.
That's where we are with 5:38 to play here in the third quarter. We'll pause momentarily and come back with more from Foster Pavilion. It's Baylor exhibition action on BaylorBears.com and the Baylor Athletics YouTube channel. .538 to play, third quarter at Foster Pavilion. Exhibition action for Baylor women's basketball. They lead West Texas A&M 46-21. The Bears have scored the last 4 points in the game and have outscored them 13-6 here in the second half.
Yes.
West Texas A&M will have the ball, Lori.
Yeah, second half, Baylor shooting 50% from the field. They also have 6 assists and 6 assists on those 6 made baskets.
You like seeing that, sharing the basketball, really a hallmark under Coach Nicky. Here is Callahan driving for West Texas A&M, kicking to Hagan, further out in the corner to Stadler. Stadler directs traffic with the shot clock at single digits. Yuting Dong is checked in, and she steals the pass back up top. Dong weaves into the front court, tries to lob it to Kirsten Johnson, but too much of a crowd. It's batted back and stolen by Bell for the Lady Buffs. Bell to the free throw line, kicks it in the corner. Here's an open look at a three from Callahan. It pops out, but then falls back through. That is the second three-pointer of the game for West Texas A&M, and it is 46-24. Baylor with the ball on a 22-point lead. Talia Scott finds Yuting Dong. A three-in rhythm is online, but too strong. Rebound knocked to the floor, and Yuting Dong called for being a little too aggressive as she chases it back down, gets tangled up with Abby Holder. Yuting Dong hit with the foul. It's her first, the team's third, and that brings us to our official third quarter media timeout. As we head to a break here, leading scorer in the game is Darion Littlepage Buggs. Her last rebound gives her a double-double with 11 points and 10 rebounds. Kirsten Johnson with 8, 7 points for Talia Scott and Bella Fauntleroy. Leading scorer for West Texas A&M is Callahan. She has 8, 6 points for Kyla Kane. 4:42 to play in the third. 46-24 Bears here. You're watching Baylor women's basketball on the Baylor Athletics YouTube channel and BaylorBears.com. .442 to play in the third quarter as the Bears take the floor once again here in the third quarter. Playing defensively with Talia Scott, Bella Fauntleroy, Yuting Dong, Darion Littlepage Buggs, and Kirsten Johnson. Offensively for West Texas A&M, it is Bell, Winfrey, Hagan, also they have Callahan and Stadler out there. Beg your pardon, that is not Winfrey. That is Presley Kane out there running point now for West Texas A&M. They have the ball out of the timeout. 4.5 to play here in the third quarter. Here's Callahan on the drive, hits Hagan for a mid-range jumper, left side, no good. Bell tips the rebound and grabs it to gain another possession for West Texas A&M, or to save the possession for the Lady Buffs. Here is Bell on the right side, firing down low to Hagan, cut off by the taller Yuting Dong. Kick out in the corner. Here's a Stadler three, no good. And the weak side rebound snagged in the crowd by Darion Littlepage Buggs. She has a double-double. Here is Fauntleroy up top, open Scott. A good look at a three online, but short. Rebound is snagged by Stadler. Good look, just left that one a little bit short. And now a steal by Scott, and she goes right back to the basket for a layup.
Boy, if you're not aware with the basketball, I mean, Talia Scott just stayed right with her player and just tipped that ball away. Easy left-handed layup.
3:42 to play in the third. Baylor doubling up West Texas A&M 48-24. Now here's a steal by Fauntleroy, and she left the runner short, got her own rebound though, and flipped it back up and in over her head. Bell was standing behind her, and I think she distracted her, and she just short-armed the layup, but she got her own rebound and flipped it over her head and in, and now there's a reverse layup at the other end by Hagan.
Well, Bella Fauntleroy just, she should get extra points just for the degree of difficulty with that
she
shot.
Missed the money and then flipped one over her head, reversed it up and in. Here's Talia Scott on the drive, gets to the basket, count the runner, and put her on the line. She's in double figures now, and she has a chance at a three-point play. Kira Pemberton and Kaylin Elms check back in for the Bears. Kirsten Johnson and Dariana Littlepage Bugs will get a breather as Talia Scott prepares to go to the free throw line, where she has not attempted a shot so far today. She's got 11 points and 4 rebounds for the Bears. She was an 84% free throw shooter in her first 2 seasons, and she knocks this one down to make it 53-26. Bears more than doubling up West Texas A&M. 3 minutes to play in this third quarter. Here's a drive, and a foul is earned by Holly Stadler. Looked like Dariana Littlepage, like Bella Fauntleroy may have got a hand on the ball, but some body in there as well, and she is called for the foul.
I disrespectfully disagree. Are you Tony Padilla?
Got the student section behind us. Just note that. You may hear that.
Hey, they're in midseason form back there.
They are. First free throw by Stadler. Front rim bounces in. She's got one more coming.
Nice call, Ralph.
You got to appreciate fans being out here at the exhibition game, making some noise. Not a bad crowd. We're up against Baylor football today. There's a lot going on.
Well, plus some big storms that rolled through.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm glad just to see everybody who made it here, got in here at the building. Hopefully all the rain will have passed through in the course of a couple of hours.
Here's Talia Scott driving, a left-hand flip. No, but she is fouled. She was stalking that shot, and you knew she was going to find a way to get it up there, and she couldn't quite finish, but she earned the trip to the line. A 5'9", redshirt sophomore guard, Talia Scott, who was the leading scorer at Arkansas as a freshman 2 years ago, now here in a Baylor uniform. She played only 2 games last year after dealing with a wrist injury at Auburn. Her first free throw is up, and it is good. That foul, by the way, is on Tatum Bell. That's her second and the team's third. Second free throw by Scott, also good. She's heating up here in the second half. 11 of her 13, actually make that 12 now of her 14 points.
Having to sit because of the 3 fouls in that first half. She was just raring to go when she got out.
Here is Hagan driving in the lane, missing a little left-hand push. Nice guard defense by Kaylin Elms, but as she tries to grab the rebound, she flips it right to Bell, who misses the right wing jumper. Another look at it by West Texas A&M, and this time Bell's shot is off the mark as they tip the rebound around. It's grabbed by Fauntleroy.
It's all right. All of that didn't matter. Got the ball back. It just took a while.
Here is Yuting Dong finding Nelms cutting to the basket for the layup.
Boy, Yuting could have just taken that shot, but instead she saw the way that Nelms broke to the basket and made a great shot.
Now mid-range jumper is good there by Holly Stadler.
Sorry, it was a great pass from Dong to Kaylin Elms, and that was a tough finish for Elms.
Scott with a heat check 3 at the other end for the Bears. Misses from the right side with a hand in her face. Under 100 seconds to play in the third quarter. Here comes West Texas A&M. Baylor with a 57-29 lead. Here's Hagan down low, left block, cut off by Fauntleroy. Holds the ball up aloft like a Statue of Liberty torch. And as she tries to decide what to do, she's called for the foul. Called for the walk, rather. Bella Fauntleroy will get a breather. Jenna Van Geitenbeek returns for the Bears. Her first action in nearly a calendar year. She has 4 points and 6 assists. Love seeing those assists. The points will come. She directs traffic. She walks across midcourt. Down to 1:20 to play in the third quarter. Baylor with the ball on a 28-point edge. Dong has it high middle of the floor. Swings it to Van Geitenbeek on the right side. Van Geitenbeek around a screen from Nelms. Bounces to a cutting Nelms. Nice little pick and roll there for 2. Baylor is up by 30, 59-29. Quickly, West Texas A&M moving the other way, finds Bell, West down low, who flips it in from point-blank range. 59-31, Baylor under a minute to play here in the third quarter. Here's Talia Scott. Crosses over, up top to Nelms. Nelms surveys the seam, gives it back to Scott, who fires down low to Pemberton. She got loose and she lays it in. Nice find there. Pemberton got behind the defense, and the Bears found her for the easy two. 30 seconds to play, third quarter. 21 on the shot clock, 9 seconds between the clocks here as West Texas A&M has the basketball. Baylor is up by 30. Henley West with a little floater in the lane, gets it to fall as she draws the foul. That's going to go on Kira Pemberton. Her second and the team's fifth. Here's Kirsten Johnson checking back in for the Bears. She will spell Kaylin Nelms. And Bell, or West rather, goes to the free throw line. Lori, nice shot there, nice land there by Pemberton a moment ago. It looks like Kiera Pemberton, but it's Kira. Kira Pemberton, a native of British Columbia. Baylor has 4 international players this season. Yu Ting Dong from China, Ella Brow from Australia. You've got Kira Pemberton from Canada, and then Inez Goryanova from Bulgaria. Bears will play for the last shot of this third quarter.
Oh,
here's
what a
Talia Scott
move.
with a nice move for the layup. Oh, she just fooled her defender, and West Texas A&M won't get off the shot as the third quarter draws to a close. A great third quarter there by Talia Scott, Lori. She scored 14 of her 16 points in the third and just put a move on her defender there to close out the third.
I think my shoes even came off just then.
Baylor by 29, 63-34 as we head to the fourth quarter here at Foster Pavilion on the Baylor on the Baylor Athletics YouTube channel and BaylorBears.com. Held him to a feet. Through three quarters, the Bears have amassed a 29-point lead over West Texas A&M. 63-34 is the score as we head to the fourth quarter. For the Bears, 2 players in double figures. Talia Scott leads all scorers with 16 points, 14 of them coming in the third. Dariana Littlepage-Buggs has a double-double with 11 points and 11 rebounds. Bears have the ball to begin the fourth quarter. There's a quick 3 by Jana Van Geitenbeek, just a bit strong. Bounces out of bounds. It'll go back to West Texas A&M. Lori, Jana Van Geitenbeek is 1 of 5 from beyond the arc, but I would say just about every one of her shots has been online.
Yeah, they are online, and just the difference of a half an inch sometimes.
There's nearly a steal by the Bears, but the pass off the hands of West is chased down by Kennedy Winfrey back in the game after picking up her 4th foul early in the third quarter. They find West down low, who bangs her way inside and lays it in over Johnson. It's 63-36. Jana Van Geitenbeek hesitates, kicks it out to Pemberton, head fakes a 3, sends it to Dong on the left wing, and Dong, circling around to screen, is called for the foul. Must have been a little bit of an elbow in there on Yuting Dong, or I beg your pardon. Did they call that on Pemberton? They may have called that on Pemberton.
Okay,
yeah,
well,
Pemberton.
That would make a little bit more sense to me.
Yeah, Pemberton was hit with the offensive foul there, and that gives it back to West Texas A&M. Markayla Johnson is checked back in, the true freshman. You got 2 Johnson last names on the team, Markayla and Kirsten. We may just go with KJ and Markayla. How about that, Lori?
Let's do that.
There's a runner good by Kyla Kane. We got to make it where listeners can follow us and you and I can follow it. So maybe KJ and Markayla is what we'll do. Markayla flips it to Van Geitenbeek to KJ, a right elbow. Lost the ball as she started to drive, and it's stolen out of there by Callahan. Callahan races the other way, tries to hit a cutting holder with a pass, but it was too high and out of bounds. It goes back to Baylor.
All right, now it's time for Baylor to settle down a bit. West Texas A&M with the first 2 buckets in the first minute of this second half after scoring 30 in a really high-powered, efficient third quarter.
Yeah, Baylor nearly scored as many points in the third as they did in the first half. Here's Jana Van Geitenbeek bouncing it to a cutting KJ for an easy 2.
Boy, Jana is seeing the court so well, and Kirsten can cut so fast. Plus, she can just take up two steps from the free throw line, and she's already at the rim.
Here's a lob down low for West. It is out of bounds. And it'll stay with West Texas A&M.
Yeah, if you're looking at Jana's assist numbers, she's at 9 assists already. I mean, the thing that Coach Nicky said about her last year is that she was just the Energizer Bunny.
Inbound to Winfrey, and she flips the inbound pass up and into the basket for 2 as she's fouled. That was a little catch and shoot, and Winfrey has a chance at a 3-point play as she draws the foul on Kira Pemberton. That's Pemberton's 4th foul, and it is the 2nd on the Bears. Talk about double digits, Lord. Jana Van Geitenbeek's next assist will give her 10 on the game as the free throw is good by Winfrey. You've got Buggs with a double-double, 11 points, 11 rebounds. Kirsten Johnson has 10 points. If she gets 2 more rebounds, she'll have a double-double. Open look and a long 2 by Jana Van Geitenbeek. Knocks it down. Just a calm, feathery shot from Jana Van Geitenbeek, who now has 6 points to go along with her 9 assists and 2 rebounds. Just over 2 minutes gone in the fourth quarter. Markayla Johnson is guarding tightly to hold her high on the top of the arc. Swings it left side to Kane. Van Geitenbeek defending her. Now it is West trying to bounce it down low to a cutting holder. It's knocked away and stolen by Jana Van Geitenbeek. Weaves into the front court. Oh, and as she tries to cross over, has her pocket picked by Kennedy Winfrey. Winfrey feeds it ahead to Kane. Steps into a 3. Too strong. Offensive rebound by Callahan. Up top to Winfrey. She'll unload a 3, and that's good. They've actually outscored Baylor 10-4 here to start the third quarter. Still Baylor comfortably ahead at 67-44. But again, it's really about playing your best basketball, and so far in the first 3 minutes of this fourth quarter, they have not. Pass down low to Pemberton. She's bodied from behind before she can attempt a shot. That's going to go against Kennedy Winfrey, and that'll be her 5th foul. That is Winfrey's 5th and the team's 1st. And so she is done. But maybe I have that wrong. Looks like that may be her 4th foul. We'll double check that. Inbound from Van Geitenbeek to Dong. Dong turns towards the basket. She's cut up, lobs it back up top. No, that is the fifth foul on Winfrey. There we go. Here's Jana Van Geitenbeek with 10 on the shot clock, hooking it to Kirsten Johnson. KJ lost the ball, chased it back down, flings it outside to Jana. Jana on the drive with the shot clock at 4. Can't hit the runner, but earns the trip to the line.
Give some credit there to Kara Pemberton. She just got in the way, set a screen, and allowed a lane to the basket for Jana Van Geitenbeek. Still, it was a difficult angle for her, but she had a much better shot because her teammate helped her out.
So Jana going to the free throw line after the foul on Abby Holder. That's her second. We're down to 6:45 to play in this one. Jana's first free throw is good. Baylor playing today without Kyla Abraham. Expect her for the opener. She was wearing a boot for a while out today. You know, precautionary, maybe could play, but not rushing her back. Also, Ella Brow is dealing with a foot injury, and so we don't know exactly how long she's going to be out. That's something they're evaluating. But, again, no use forcing anything today.
Absolutely. You know, everybody's gotten a chance to get in here, get good minutes, and the good thing is everybody's scored and everybody's contributed.
Markayla Johnson nearly knocks the ball away and nearly gets a steal, but West Texas A&M is able to maintain possession. It is Holder with 15 on the shot clock, nearly losing the basketball. She's harassed by Markayla Johnson, floats a dangerous pass to the right wing, and now as they try to feed it into the post, Jana Van Geitenbeek chases down the loose ball, and here comes Baylor the other way. 6:15 to play, third quarter. Van Geitenbeek on the drive, nearly walked with it as she tries to throw on the brakes. Flings it outside to Markayla Johnson, 15 to shoot. Markayla on the drive, cut off, pops from just beyond the free throw line and rattles it home.
Well, that's kind of her shot in this game. Is that her 6th point? And I think 6. Yes, 6 points. And she's done that just with those turnaround jumpers.
West tries nearly the same shot but misses it at the other end. KJ grabs her 9th rebound of the afternoon. She's one board away from a double-double. Here's Jana Van Geitenbeek in the paint, circling beneath the basket, flips it down low to KJ for 2 more. Kirsten Johnson with 12 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists. A very complete game for the wiry 6'4" post players.
Yeah.
Bella Fauntleroy and Dariana Little-Page-Buggs prepare to check back in.
And Baylor with a 6-0 run over the last minute of this game. And they've done it for Jana Van Geitenbeek, Markayla Johnson, and then KJ.
73-44 Bears, 5:22 to play. Nearly another turnover, but West Texas A&M is able to save the deflection. With 5 on the shot clock, they give it out to McBroom. To Bell, does she realize she has to fire a shot up quickly? And it's an air ball. Baylor is going to grab that and run back the other way. She just had to fling that up there with the shot clock at 1. Van Geitenbeek on the other end steps into a 3 and knocks it down.
You know, nobody accounted for anyone, and Kristen Johnson just stayed out there and again created space for Jana Van Geitenbeek to drill that 3.
Bears are on a 9-0 run. Jana Van Geitenbeek has a double-double. She's got 11 points and 10 rebounds, 10 assists now.
That should be 10 rebounds.
Yep,
for Kirsten Johnson.
Here's Dong for 3 at the other end, left it short. And the rebound picked up off the baseline by Tatum Bell. Bears are up 76-44 on a 9-0 run here with 4:26 to play in the ball game. After the game, we'll visit with Coach Nikki and Dariana Little-Page-Buggs before we close out the broadcast. Here's West with a turnaround jumper, too strong. Pemberton collects the rebound. Pemberton with 2 points, a rebound, and an assist. Here's Markayla Johnson for 3, too strong from the right side in transition. Pemberton knocks the ball out of bounds, and that brings us to our fourth quarter media timeout. 4:05 to play here in this one. Baylor 76, West Texas A&M 44. This is Baylor Exhibition Basketball on the Baylor Athletics YouTube channel and BaylorBears.com. I don't know. Let's see. What's that? Yeah. A run. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Right. All Baylor here in exhibition action at Foster Pavilion as we head to the final 4:06 to play here. The Bears got off to a quiet start offensively in the first half. They shot just 34%, but here in the second half they have picked up the pace, shooting 58% to convert at a 45% clip for the afternoon. And the Bears have 4 players in double figures, and they'll have the ball out of the timeout. Playing with Talia Scott, Markayla Johnson, Bella Fauntleroy, Kirsten Johnson, and Dariana Littlepage Buggs. Kirsten Johnson gets the ball on the left baseline, misses a turnaround jumper, but stayed with it and flipped it back up and in. The Bears have scored the game's last 11 points and lead by 34 with under 3:45 to play. Here is a new player in, Tiara Owens, who is a high school teammate of Markayla Johnson at Booker T. Washington High School in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So a couple of freshmen having seen action here. And Tatum Bell, as she tries to clear a little room along the left block, is called for pushing off of Dariana Littlepage Buggs.
And who is on the floor around the baseline? It's Bella Fauntleroy, who just took that shot again.
Well, you always know Bella Fauntleroy is going to hit the deck as she stands in there. And
she is tough as nails, though.
Lori, at the moment, the Baylor football team is within 9 as they trail 27-18. Sawyer Robertson just scored a running touchdown early fourth quarter. However, it's being reviewed. We'll see if that holds or not. Now a travel called by the Bears as they set up shop in the paint at the other end. We are down to 3:15 to play in this one. It looks like the touchdown was upheld. So the Bears are going for 2 and are going to try to pull to within 1 score in Cincinnati, as they are going for a 2-point conversion. Here is Bell at the other end for West Texas A&M. Swings it at the top of the arc, up top to Stadler. Stadler drives inside, up top to Tiara Owens. Ball loose as it's knocked away by Johnson, and a jump ball is called. It's going to stay with West Texas A&M as the possession arrow favored the Lady Buffs.
Kirsten has just been relentless today. I think she just, the thing that you want to see out of her is just continue to go up. And she's still ball hawking out there.
Here is Owens driving to the bucket. Oh, and as the shot clock was about to expire, Kirsten Johnson was called for the body. She did bump her a bit, but I don't know that that's one you expect to see called. But that's her third foul, the team's third.
She is out there saying, my bad.
Well, then maybe she knows that's the case. The Bears are unable to convert the 2-point conversion, so it's a 27-18 ball game. That's with 13.5 to go in Cincinnati. There's a flag on the play. We'll see. First free throw is up by Owens, and it is good. She's got one more coming.
Boy, that stops that was a long drought. It scored since the 7:02 mark, so nearly about 4.5 minutes of a scoring drought for West Texas A&M.
Baylor by 32, 78-46. Here's Fauntleroy letting fly a three and leaving it a little bit short. Well, the Bears are going to get another crack at the two-point conversion as a face mask is called against Cincinnati. And meanwhile, a point-blank layup is blown by Brooklyn Scurry in transition at the other end. But as the rebound is knocked out of bounds, it will stay with the Lady Buffs with under 2.5 minutes to play. Scurry will play it in. The inbound comes to Bell with 2.5 minutes to go. Here's a shot in close, no good by Bell, and Dariana Littlepage Buggs collects the rebound. The Bears do complete the two-point conversion, so it's a one-possession game in Cincinnati. Here's Talia Scott spinning, corkscrewing into the lane, and as she goes up with it, she is fouled. Free throws are coming. 78-46, Baylor leads with 2:14 to play. That foul is on Tiara Owens, her first.
Oh, Baylor
and the team's third.
Did get the two-point conversion, it looks like.
Yes, they did. So it's a one-possession ball game.
And, you know, it's kind of confusing to be talking about one game.
Yes, I'm going to assume, you know, we may have some of our friends from West Texas A&M watching, and I hope you all do. If you do, if you join us, pleased to have you with us here. But obviously, I assume a lot of people watching have at least a passing interest in what's happening in Cincinnati. We appreciate y'all being with us today for this.
You know, Talia Scott's at the free throw line. Let's see if she can complete the two-point conversion as well.
Hey,
and she does.
She does. Just got it across the goal line there. Baylor by 44 or by 34 rather, at 80-46, with 2 minutes and 14 seconds to play. Well, the student section is, I don't know, they made Coach Nikki laugh. I don't know what they said, but she's got a big smile on her face. I think they're going to bring some energy here behind us this year, Lori. Here is Owens handing it off to Callahan. Callahan wants to drive right side of the lane. Spins inside on Markayla Johnson, who stays strong and forces the miss. And there's a whistle on the fight for the rebound. And
I think there may have been a foot on that.
Yeah.
When Kayla Nelms pulled down that offensive rebound or defensive rebound, got out of her hands, but the West Texas A&M player who had it stepped on the out of bounds.
Here is Buggs at the other end, left side of the paint, turnaround jumper too strong. Fauntleroy tips the rebound outside, but right to Callahan. We're under 2 minutes to play, 1:40 to be exact here, as West Texas A&M does travel with the basketball. They fed Stadler on the right baseline, and she was so wide open it caught her off guard, and she walked with it.
Yeah, I think she was ready to think about pulling up after she got the shot, but then saw she had not a lot of players around her and just took that extra step. It's one of those where you just go, ah.
Here's Bella Fauntleroy floating it down low to Nelms. Kick out in the corner. Good look at a three. Talia Scott too strong. Rebound batted around and controlled by Dariana Littlepage Buggs. Just over a minute to go in this one. Baylor with an 80-46 lead. Buggs spins inside and a blocking foul is called as she lays it in. Buggs with a chance at a three-point play as she absorbs the contact from Holly Stadler. 82-46, I beg your pardon. Dariana Littlepage Buggs with 13 points and 13 rebounds. She has a double-double. Also for the Bears, Kirsten Johnson a double-double with 14 and 11. Jenna Van Geitenbeek a double-double, 11 points and 10 assists. Minute 12 to play here in this one as Buggs goes to the free throw line. She hits the first. She missed her first four, but has hit her last two. 81-46. Now again, let's not lose sight of the fact this is a team that played SMU close. This is a team that actually defeated Arizona. They've played 3 exhibition games this week. And really Baylor has never let them in the game today. Baylor hasn't played its best basketball by any stretch, and yet I think they played a team that's coming in at least with a little bit of confidence, really took them out of the game early. We're under a minute to go in this one. Baylor by 35 points. Nelms gets a hand on the entry pass, but it's chased down in the corner, but that forced the turnover there as they tried to fling it outside. Bella Fauntleroy stole it away. Buggs drives to the basket for 2.
Buggs is just like a gazelle out there running in the full court. It's just a beautiful thing to see.
That's a great description, Lori, because very accurate. Great graceful out there. Here's a pass down low on the baseline to Scurry. She'll let it fly and leave it way short.
I think Nelms got a piece of that one.
Nelms might have got a hand on that. She got a hand up, and you're right. She might have deflected that. Baylor can't quite play for the last shot, but they can drain it down to a few tenths of a second here as Fauntleroy lobs it down low to Dariana Littlepage Buggs. And Buggs is tied up. A jump ball is called. It's going to stay with Baylor with 14 on the shot clock and 16.1 to play. Well, 3 double-doubles for Baylor. We saw Jana Van Geitenbeek get back out there. Everyone who was eligible today has seen action. I say eligible, everyone's eligible, but Kyla Abraham and Ella Brow, we both knew were going to sit with injuries. Here's Fauntleroy letting the 3 fly, and she knocks it down to close out the day strong. She reaches double figures now with 12. 6 seconds to play. West Texas A&M has Owens driving with 2, with 1. She gets to the basket and misses the runner, and that's the ball game. All Baylor in this exhibition game, 86-46, the win over West Texas A&M. And, you know, Lori, all in all, not a bad day at the office. I think this was a good game for Baylor to try to knock off some of the rust, to try to play against someone else in front of fans in a manner. And, that's always different with all these new players out there. And I think West Texas A&M probably got their attention a little bit with that win over Arizona, and I think the way Baylor responded to that speaks pretty well of it.
Yeah, the veteran players stepped in and looked comfortable. Buggs hasn't missed a beat. You know, Bella, I loved seeing her knock down that three-pointer towards the end. Talia Scott, you saw that, it was disappointing for her to have to sit for as long as she did after picking up 3 fouls, but when she came in that third quarter, she owned it and made some pretty amazing plays. But you saw Jana Van Geitenbeek just running the offense super well. She ended up with a double-double herself, so 3 Baylor players with double-doubles. And then what can we say about Kirsten Johnson? Kirsten Johnson just, the coaching staff has been talking about how well she's been stacking practices and just elevating her game. And boy, that had to feel good for her to play as many minutes as she did, to have the success that she did. And hopefully things will just continue to get better.
Well, most of the Baylor team is doing a choreographed dance at mid-court, even some of the coaches. So they must have worked on this.
Kyla Abraham with a boot on but she's very gingerly making sure she doesn't move around a whole lot.
Yeah.
I love it. It's a little bit of line dancing there.
Yeah, a little line dancing at mid-court. Okay. So for the fans who stuck around.
Hey, Johnny Harris. We see you out there.
Johnny Harris, one of 3 new coaches on staff this season, along with Tez Dumars. And let's see here. Where is she? Oh, yeah, there she is in there.
Okay, now everybody gets in line for that good old Baylor line.
There we go. Just had to wait a minute for that, but that's fun to see here. An 86-46 Baylor victory. Let's take a look at the stats in a minute. We're going to visit with head coach Nikki Collin, and as well, we're going to hear from Dariana Littlepage Buggs. Baylor outshoots West Texas A&M 45 to 30% on the game. Neither team hot from downtown. Baylor 6 of 28, 21%. West Texas A&M 3 for 15. That's good for 20%. Baylor 14 of 23 from the line, 61%. The Lady Buffs 7 of 9, 78%. Baylor forces 27 turnovers, gives it up just 12 times. Baylor outscores them off those turnovers, 28 to 12. Baylor out-rebounds them 47 to 40, including 16 to 3 off the offensive glass, leading to a 15 to 8 edge on second chance points. Baylor with 22 assists on 33 made field goals. West Texas A&M with 9 assists on 18 field goals. No one reached double figures for the Lady Buffs. Again, a team that beat Arizona on Wednesday night in Tucson. Today was never any closer than 7 points after the first quarter. They were led by Hindley West with 9 points. Bell had 7 rebounds off the bench. Assist-wise, Tana Bell also led the team with 3. For the Bears, 5 in double figures, including 3 players with double-doubles. Talia Scott led all scorers with 18 points on 6 of 14 shooting, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Dariana Littlepage Buggs and Kirsten Johnson each had double-doubles, 14 points apiece. Buggs led all rebounders with 14. Johnson had 11. Both of them looked very good. Bella Fauntleroy with 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. Jana Van Geitenbeek, a double-double, 11 points and 10 assists for the Bears. Kaylin Elms and Markayla Johnson with 6 apiece. Yu Ting Dong had 3 points on 1 of 6 shooting. Kira Pemberton had 2 points, a rebound, and an assist. It all adds up to an 86-46 win. And Lori, I liked what the newcomers brought. I mean, this didn't always look super crisp, but you don't expect that early on. I think it was good to get some work in. And boy, I like what we saw from Kirsten Johnson, a player who I think has a lot more in the tank than what we saw in her 3 seasons at Oklahoma. She had a double-double today and looked like she's got some really good post moves. You had Jana Van Geitenbeek. I think her just getting out on the floor was a win.
Yes.
I think if you said that she would finish the game healthy, you'd say that's enough. But not only that, she gets a double-double.
Yeah, you know, she ran the team well. She did just what she was expected to do last season. You know, the Energizer Bunny coming in off the bench. She gave you that change of pace. Now the ball is in her hand. She is the true point guard for this team. When she was out, you saw Talia Scott sometimes take the ball at the point guard position. So to see her be able to be the quarterback of this team and run things so well, and then to see the other pieces, you got what you knew you were going to get out of Dariana Little-Page-Buggs. But to see Kirsten Johnson, that was well done. And then to see the freshmen get out there, and Markayla Johnson too. She, you know, she's been around here for so long. You know, as a recruit, that we're just thrilled that she ended up playing as well as she did.
Here is Dariana Little-Page-Buggs joining us. Dariana with a customary double-double, 14 points and 14 rebounds. So we've just come to expect double-doubles from Dariana Little-Page-Buggs. We never want to take them for granted. Buggs, take us just outside there on the floor. How did it feel playing with so many new teammates and getting integrated? It seemed like the more the game went on, the more in sync everyone got.
No, it was great. We were working hard all summer, and just to be able to get out here and get us a game in together was really good. It showed us a lot, but it was fun. Like our teammates, we celebrate each other, so that's what tonight was just about. It was about us. It was about figuring us out before the next one, so it was just all good.
Yeah, I liked you and KJ there in the post together. You got 2 high-energy players, and how do you complement each other down there?
Just she wants the basketball. She's determined. She's going to give me the ball. I'm going to give her the ball. And like you said, just the versatility. Like, okay, we can do a high-low. She can drive. She can shoot it. I can drive. I can shoot it. So we just complement each other in those ways where it's, well, you have a mismatch. I can get you the ball, and you can go to work. So.
Visiting with Dariana Little-Page-Buggs, 14 points, 14 rebounds today. How nice was it for everyone? I know it's exciting for Jana Van Geitenbeek to get out there for the first time in nearly a calendar year. How much was a lift was that for all of you who have kind of watched her journey back? Oh,
it's been amazing. Jana's just a positive girl, and I think that's just carried her this far, and we truly missed her last year. So just to have her back is so amazing. Like, amazing is an understatement. I'm so happy Jana's back, and it just, you can feel it. Like, you can feel the energy, the speed. Like, that's what Jana brings, the joy. So just to have her out here and playing, it's just been amazing.
I want to ask you, too, before we let you go, about Talia Scott. 18 points, 16 in the second half. You know, at Premier, someone said, how do you describe her? And someone said, she's a bucket. She just finds ways to score. It seems like she's got a lot of kind of tools in her toolbox that she can use.
No, a bucket is correct. She's a bucket. She's going to go get a bucket. She's going to read. She's going to score. She's going to shoot. She's going to – her hezzy move is just – I don't know if you guys saw it, but,
yes,
man, you blink and she's already at the basket. Like, she truly is a bucket. When we need a bucket, we're going to her.
Well, Buggs, got to ask you, how did it feel just to kind of be out there with everyone under the lights, and also to get so many new players, just that work? And now you probably get tired of scrimmaging against each other.
Oh, no, just to play somebody else has been more than amazing. Like, we want to get each other better, but it's always good to play somebody other than yourselves. You can get a little chippy, and our team definitely comes to competing, which I really love. But it's always good to just play against people that aren't your teammates or aren't the scout guys. It just gives you a different perspective.
It was that little line dance there the team was doing at the end.
It's called Boots on the Ground. I don't know how it came to be, but we kind of just did it with our recruits, and it just kind of been a thing. So we love Boots on the Ground. So when they play it, we're gonna put our boots on the ground and boots.
Boots on the ground. Well, y'all looked in sync, particularly in the second half on the floor, in sync in the dancing as well. So,
yeah.
Dariana, thanks so much for joining us. Looking forward to seeing you out there in Paris.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Dariana Little-Page-Buggs, a double-double tonight, 14 points and 14 rebounds for the senior. That sounds crazy to say. We're going to talk, I think, to Coach Nikki in just a moment here, but she got pulled away from us, understandably. I think some fans here. Wanted to talk to her. Good to see Sophia Young-Malcolm over there. Sophia made the decision this summer to step away from coaching to spend some time, to spend more time with her family, and that's a very understandable move. You know, we hated to lose her. She did such a great job on the radio and on the sideline as well, but you know, when she's making that decision to be with her family, you certainly know that that's the right one. But good to see her here tonight. We're joined now by head coach Nikki Collin. And, you know, Coach Nikki, you know, the team got more in sync as the game went on, but I thought they were really in sync on the dance there at the end. Is that something we're going to see you join in at all at
yes,
any point?
I will.
Okay.
I need more people. If I'm going to do it, I need the people to see it. So,
fair enough.
You
fair
know,
enough,
like
yeah.
I got to, yeah.
You need a crowd. Yeah, you need a crowd for sure. Well, let me ask you about the job the team did today. It seemed like, you know, a little bit of a rough offensive first half for both teams, but it seemed like once y'all got going, really when Talia Scott got going in the second half, the offense just really sparked. What did you see from the team as they sort of kind of got their feet under them here in this game?
I think, well, first of all, we've been very focused. We've been very Duke focused. And so because of that, we've played pressure defense. We've had our guys play pressure, deny, you know, make it really hard for us. And we just saw us sagging man-to-man. And so I don't think early we handled, like, the switching, sagging. We were trying to drive into bodies, and we weren't moving the basketball well. And so I thought that was the biggest adjustment, just getting these guys in space, giving them double gaps to drive into, getting Talia downhill, getting some rebounds, and getting out in transition. Obviously, we didn't shoot our free throws well. We didn't shoot the three well, and we scored 86 points. I mean, I think if we make a few more threes, like we should have scored 100 points. Like I'm frustrated that, you know, but I thought we were hesitant on the three early. It was like, should we shoot it? Should we not shoot it? We didn't catch it in a rhythm and just go into our shot because it was just always open. And so that whole feeling of getting the shot, you know, and then we missed some stuff around the rim, and obviously, you know, the free throw stretch was real bad. Obviously, it was a lot better in the second half. But, you know, we you look at our OU scrimmage, and we were, I think, 26 for 32 from the free throw line. So, you know, this surprised me, to be honest with you.
Visiting with Coach Nikki Baylor, an 86-46 win over West Texas A&M. You had three players with double-doubles, Bugs and Kirsten Johnson with points and rebounds, Jana Van Gatenbeek with points and assists. I want to ask you about Kirsten Johnson. You know, you look at the stats at Oklahoma, and they don't leap off the page, but then you see what she brings in practice and here, and you think, boy, there's kind of a lot on the table there. What can she bring to this team, and what does her presence in the her presence in the post mean?
Well, I'll admit it. I told her at halftime, the next time she shot the ball at the basket without looking at it or landing, that I wasn't going to play her in the whole second half. I said, the first shot I see like that, you're out and you're not going back in. I think that's just a little bit the jitters of, you know, it's been a long time since she played consistent minutes and was a factor, and it takes time to trust, you know, kind of your ability to land, take your time, go up. And so I always say, like, when kids rush, they're blocking their own shot because they're not giving themselves a chance to make it. And I would rather they take their time, pump fake, take it up, and if it gets blocked, it's likely to get blocked out of bounds. Now we have an opportunity, you know, to run an out-of-bounds play, which, you know, we got some kids that don't know our out-of-bounds play, so there's that. But I just think she can play with energy. I think she can get up and down the floor. She can make an open three. I don't think she's going to shoot a ton of them, but I think she can knock down the three. I just think she's active. I think she can be someone that really gets us in action, separates out of actions. A little bit of what Kyla brings. But a little bit more on the perimeter, a little better ability to put the ball on the bounce, a little better ability to shoot the basketball.
I want to ask you, too, about Jana Van Gatenbeek. You know, I think if she had just kind of made it through the game feeling good, and that was a win in of itself, and instead she finishes with a double-double, 11 points and 10 rebounds. What did you think about the job she did, just kind of acclimating back to the game and really, as the game went on, seeing the floor?
Well, you know, honestly, we always play better in the second half because I'm telling them what to do because they're coming towards me. So there's like less. We were just so much more decisive in what we were doing in transition and what we were doing. I thought she was elite in step-ups, getting along the baseline. I thought she took one bad shot when she got along the baseline. I thought Bella cut the 45 really well. She missed the two free throws, but then she finished the next time she did it. We got to get everyone to understand that gap. It's new for us this year. I just thought it could be really good for us instead of staying spread all the time, is really cutting on that baseline penetration and I thought Bella did a really good job of that. Jana found her. So I thought Jana, the game slowed down a little bit for Jana. We got in transition better. And she made a couple shots and she calmed down. I thought, kind of stepping up and making some shots, she calmed down. I told you guys I thought she could be top 5 in the country in assists. I mean, that's 10 assists in 29 minutes. I'm pretty proud of myself. My biggest goal of the game was managing minutes. And, I'm like about a minute off on a bunch of them, but it's Talia's fault because her foul trouble in the first half messed up with my plan. I was trying to keep Jan at 28. I wanted Talia at 28, and they would have been, kind of right there, I feel like, had Talia not gotten in foul trouble. But I think everyone saw, like, what Talia is capable of doing in that second half. I mean, obviously we're going to play an elite opponent next, and it's not going to be quite as easy, but I think she has the ability. She got good looks from 3. If she knocks 2 of those down, she's got 25 points in 25 minutes, and so she can really score. And understanding I'm going to find ways to get the ball in her hands, and I thought 3-1 assist to turnover for her was really good today. She is that's what I'm asking of. I'm asking her. I'm asking Bella. I'm asking those guys to get 2-3 assists. Let Jana's going to handle the bulk of the assists probably, but let's be really good at sharing the ball when it's easy. And I thought other than just forcing some actions, I thought when we moved the basketball, we got to really good stuff. I mean, when we trusted the second side, when we just played on one side of the floor, I thought we were really average. I thought when we moved to the second side of the floor, we got better. I'm not sure it made it to the third side more than like maybe once, and it was ugly when we got it over there. So, we've got to trust that the ball doesn't have to be scored or a shot taken on the first side, on the first swing, on the first action. We're going to be better when we trust the second side.
Well, Coach Nick, before we let you go, you head out to Paris on Wednesday, getting ready for Duke a week from tomorrow. It's a business trip. There's some fun. What are some things you want to kind of see the team do to make the most of really everything that this next week has to offer?
Well, I think we have to practice like we're going to play a top 5 opponent. I think that's going to be the key. Our kids need a day off tomorrow, and hopefully they'll pack so we can really lock in and have good practices before we leave, because I think that's where the bulk of the work is going to be. I certainly think we're still going to be practicing. We're getting there early enough to get practices in, but ultimately I think it's just really important that after the day off that we have 3 really good practices before we hit the road. I think the experience is a special one. I certainly think the things that we're going to do ahead of the game, we're going to embrace and we're going to enjoy. But this is not the Greece, Italy trip. This is not against the who knows all-stars and the Canadian team. Like we're playing a really good team, and it's truly a business trip. And we've got to understand when to lock in and be ready, and when to kind of enjoy the sights. And hopefully this team, is mature enough to do that. But one way or the other, I've said it, it's a little scary right now. I'm not going to pretend that, starting with a team that good is an easy thing for a coach to not get big-time nerves about. But it's the first game of the year. And if I feel like even if we don't go and win, we're gonna learn a lot. But we're certainly going there to win the basketball game, and I believe we have the pieces to do it. Certainly, I thought our bench was solid. I think it can continue to get better. I think we've got to get more movement, better decisions sometimes out of Ting. I think Ting can be electric. I don't think she showed that, and I think Markayla can be someone that changes the tempo of the game with her ball pressure, and I think those are two key things. And we've got to get Kyla back. I think we need her size, we need her rebounding, we need her rim running, and we need her screening. She's an easy target on the roll, but I thought as the game went along, we started to do a lot of good things when we weren't tired.
Well, hope everyone gets back healthy, and in the meantime, good practices, safe travels, and we'll see you out there in Paris next week.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Bears head coach Nikki Collin with her post-game comments. Appreciate her. And Dariana Little-Page-Buggs joining us after the game here, an 86-46 victory in exhibition play over West Texas A&M. Well, we've given you the stats, we've heard the comments, and we're going to wind things down here. You know, Lori, this was, you can find things to nitpick if you want, but on the whole, against a team that played well against an ACC team, that defeated a Big 12 team, you really never let them in the game. Even some sloppy stretches, you kind of worked through them pretty quickly, and everyone was involved, everyone was active. Everyone's healthy now. If you can get Kyle Abraham back and hopefully Ella Brow soon, you've got the full complement of players eventually ready to go.
Yeah, and just to get out there and play, you can scrimmage all you want, but once you get out here, the lights are on. You go through the introductions. You've got that adrenaline just flying through, and everybody's thinking a lot about the game, and so as the course of the game went along, I think everybody started to go, okay, we can do this. We can play hard. But now the real test begins. Not only just going to the, hopping on a plane in a 9-10 hour flight and the time change and the different country, different food, and a lot of things that can distract you, but to stay as focused as they possibly can, because as Coach said, it is a business trip, and you want to account for yourselves well. You want to learn a lot, and hopefully you can come away with a W.
Well, that'll be next Monday, November 3rd, 11 a.m. We'll be on the air at 10:30 on the Baylor Sports Media Network as the Bears open the season in a top 20 matchup between Baylor and the Duke Blue Devils. 5 players in double figures today for the Bears, led by Talia Scott with 18 points, 3 with double-doubles. Kirsten Johnson, 14 points, 11 rebounds. Darian Littlepage-Buggs, 14 points, 14 rebounds. And Jenna Van Geitenbeek, 11 points and 10 assists. Well, glad to have you with us here. We're going to turn things off here as we do. If you want to catch the end of the Baylor football game, you can either go to the Baylor Sports Media Network, our flagship station, ESPN Central Texas, or you can go back to the Baylor Athletics YouTube channel, and you'll find the Inside the Booth broadcast from Cincinnati. Unfortunately, the Bears just gave up 14 points in quick succession to fall behind 41-20 with just under 4.5 minutes to go. But we'll celebrate the Baylor women's basketball win here, 86-46, the final score. Appreciate you being with us.